Hello everyone, today we are going to discuss if truck dispatchers should be licensed and regulated. So, for over 10 years, I've been hearing this question. Shouldn't truck dispatchers be licensed? And shouldn't FMCSA regulate them? So, if you want a quick answer, technically we could say yes, I don't think there is anything wrong with licensing or regulating dispatchers, but there is a good reason why they are not. You see, there are two other parties to this transaction which are being regulated. Those are the motor carriers and freight brokers. Let's try to understand why they're being licensed and why they're being regulated. So, first, if we'll take a motor carrier, we have to understand this is someone who will be driving large vehicles on a public roads. So if those vehicles are not safe, drivers are not safe, they will present a danger to the public. They're also transporting valuable cargo. Okay, so if somehow they're not being regulated and they take someone's cargo and just disappear with it and so on, there will be no accountability. And again, it will present certain risks to the public. That is the reason why motor carriers are being regulated by Department of Transportation and Federal Motor Carriers Safety Administration. Now, some may say, well, freight brokers, they don't actually touch any freight and they don't drive any vehicles on the road and they have to be licensed and they have to have a bond. So why aren't dispatchers have to do the same? Again, we have to understand the nature of what freight brokers do. Freight brokers connect shippers and motor carriers, and they don't just connect them. They're actually become an intermediary in the transaction. They actually collect the money from someone who needs something shipped, and then they pay money to a transportation company that will actually transport cargo. So, if a freight broker will collect the money and disappear, well, again, they will be presenting a risk, a danger to general public. And because they collect the money from shippers and then may choose not to pay them out to the motor carriers, they're required to have a bond because, again, government doesn't want a situation to be created where, again, this party to the transactions is not acting appropriately. And there are some bad freight brokers that kind of bend the rules and do a lot of shady things, but still they are being controlled. There is a record, there is their credit history, and so on. So they are being under control. So now let's talk about dispatchers. What do dispatchers do? Dispatchers are actually a hired contractor that works on behalf of one of those parties, mostly motor carriers and in some cases freight brokers. Okay, so they're not really a party that either contacts with the general public that may need something shipped and will be paying dispatcher for it, nor are they transporting cargo for anyone where, again, they could endanger general population. So they are just providing administrative services such as making phone calls, doing paperwork, assisting with billing, maybe providing directions to the driver, something like that. So they're really acting, well, if you would like, as secretaries. And as we know, secretaries for trucking companies are not being regulated. So why would dispatchers be regulated? With that being said, in general terms, I am not against some sort of a registration process or some sort of accreditation process because I think it would help dispatchers to distinguish good and qualified dispatchers from dispatchers that shouldn't be dispatching at all. So that would be fine, but that is not something that I believe government institutions will have interest in. So that is the reason why they didn't create a license or specific regulations for dispatchers. So with all that being said, I hope that kind of clarifies this question, this situation. And again, this is my take. This comes from my experience and my view on things. Again, if you have some questions or you have a different opinion, you can post it in the comments, and we can discuss this further. You may also consider watching another video, which I'll link below, where we discuss freight broker license for dispatchers. Should a dispatcher obtain a freight broker license? We discuss different scenarios, so that can also provide you with alternative view on how things work. So with all that being said, we are going to wrap up this video, and I will see you next time.